Hey, round of applause because this is the first episode and we about to get down to business because it's called the Path of Rediscovery, okay? And this title, this topic of this podcast is very, very important to me because I really just had to pull myself up out of a rut. I've been battling depression since I had my daughter. And it was this depression of like self-worth, feeling like, okay, I'm not accomplishing anything, or like, why is my life taking this turn? Because although I have a beautiful family, I'm married, marriage is great, and I had my daughter and stuff like that, and I was able to check off all of those boxes of me wanting to be married by a specific time, me wanting to have my baby right then and there, me wanting to have a two-parent household, well, raising my daughter in a two-parent household. I had those things, but I didn't have anything else besides that. No college degree, no money in the bank, no working towards anything. Like, I just didn't have those things, and I'm just like, what is going on? I feel like I'm nothing. Like, I'm going through this depression. Where's my friends? I'm not really feeling like my friends was really there. Like, I'm just going through a whole thing, right? My faith is being tested like never before. I'm going back and forth, like, does he love me or does he not love me? Like, God, do you love me or do you not love me? And it was a crazy time, right? But this title I actually created a year ago when I was supposed to do my podcast again, and I didn't do it. I sat on it, but I'm circling back to this title because it is very important to me, because the new year's approaching, and I think that at the end of every year, we all should be self-reflecting on how far we've come, all of the things that we had to go through, the things that we had to grow through, and, and to be thankful, really. But more importantly, and the purpose of this whole thing is to reintroduce yourself. Let people know just very well who you are. Let them know that you are anointed. Let them know that, yeah, you got what it takes, okay? Because what I'm going to tell you, there are people out here who have a far more extensive resume than you have currently, right? But guess what? They're intimidated by you, unfortunately, because that's just the way of the world. I had this naive look on life. I just really wanted to think that the people who already made it, like, you just can't be competing with the people at the bottom. Why is that? Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Okay? Because they know that you possess the skills to surpass them, of course. Anyway, let me tell y'all a story. I'm going to share a story with you all, and why it is critical to act now and to always believe in yourself, to never let anybody dim your light, ever. So, last year, same time, around November-December-ish, I got a job working at this high school, and I was like, boom, this is the job that I needed. I was just coming off of being unemployed for a little minute, and so I was like, all right, I'm about to go back to work. This is what I want to do. This is right up my alley. With me wanting to start a nonprofit and a youth program, I was like, me being in the school, getting this clearance is going to be what I need to take me to the next level, right? To help me gain more experience. Because it's not that I didn't have any experience within youth development, because that's really all my experience. I have hella years working for another program, but in a school setting, in an actual school, that's just like another level, right? So, anyways, go to the school. I'm working part-time, not really making any money. So I say, boom, I'm about to go down here to the center that I grew up in, and I'm about to see if I can get me a job. Now, this lady who I went to, she's the owner. She runs this facility for the most part, or at least she used to back in the day anyway, but it's still very much hers. I went to her. Now, I grew up in this place. This lady is a pillar of the community. Her name rings bells. you know, forwards and backwards. And I went to her because I'm like, you know what? She should help me out, right? Like, you know, because I'm thinking to my head, I need to go and see someone who can actually help me out and help me get to the next level. And so I'm like, okay, got it. You know, I see her like a mentor. Let me go see what's up with her. So I go down there and I say, hey, you know, how you doing? You know, we checking in because I haven't seen her, you know, really like, I haven't really stopped and had a conversation with her. I would just see her here and there. But this time, you know, it was a little bit different. We were really catching up. And, you know, when we were having a conversation, she was like, well, what you doing now? Like, what's going on? What brings you here? And I said, I need a job. You know, I need money. And so she was like, well, what are you doing with what are you doing? Like, do you have a degree? Do you have this? Do you have that? And I'm like, no, I don't have a college degree. So she like, what? Basically telling me that, like, I have wasted potential. Like, she said, yeah, you know, I've always told you that you have great potential. I've been telling you that since you were a kid, but I'm just waiting for you to get up there. I'm waiting for you to catch up with it. And so I'm just like, and I'm telling her, like, yeah, you've inspired me. I want to be what you were for me. I want to be that for other people. And this lady, she really helped broaden my perspective. She introduced me to a whole world outside of my own little world, okay? I was in rooms with like these famous people who have really made history. Like, and I'm not talking about like no singers. I'm talking about real life historical figures, political figures. I'm in here with these people. I'm doing presentations or I'm meeting them. I'm going to their houses. Like, I was doing this all at the tender age of 10, okay? I could have been a little bit younger than 10, okay? But yes, doing all this, we were traveling, we were doing all this. And I said, you know, yeah, I want to do that for people. I want to just really show them that they could be successful, like, and really walk them through. Okay. And so she was like, oh, I mean, that's cute and all that, but that's all it'll ever be is just an idea because you don't have the credentials to do what you're trying to do. So I'm just like, I mean, what, like, what? And so I said, cool. I'll bite. I got back in school. And so my husband, he was like, you got back in school just because she told you that you basically couldn't do what you wanted to do without having a college degree? And so, and essentially, yes, that is right. Again, I'm feeling defeated. I'm in a state of depression. And I really let this lady play with me. On any other day, me and her would be like, back and forth, okay? Because I would have not let that slide. But stay tuned, it gets better. So I say, yeah. And so my baby, he's, you know, pouring life into me. He's speaking life into me. He like, listen, you know, I'm glad that you get back in school and you're excited about it. He said, but don't ever let anybody tell you that you can't do something because they can't see it working without you having this, that, and the third, okay? And what's even crazier is the fact that God sent me another sign. Now, I can't remember, like, if it was, like, right then and there or, like, I think it may have been maybe even, like, a month afterwards, right? But he sent me a sign, and the pastor was like, you know, you're going to walk into rooms and people are going to question, how are you even there? How are you even in these rooms and you don't have that credibility, right? And you know, it goes back to say what my husband has said, right? And so I'm just like, you know, but nevertheless, I'm still down here. The lady gives me a temporary job, basically probationary period. After I perform in this position, then we could speak about me then becoming a full-time employee. Now, while I'm in here, I am working with people who watched me grow up. It's only like maybe like two to four people in this facility who's known me since I was a kid. These other people are new, but for the most part, we have people there who know me since I was a kid. But this one particular lady happens to be, I went to school with her son, and when I came in there, she was like, oh, like, so happy for me to be in there. She was like, yeah, you know, stick with me, I got you. I'm going to show you how to navigate these realms. You know, you got to watch out what you say around here. Like, she was like, you know those people in the workplace who couldn't wait to tell you like how crazy and really spill some tea? She was like that, okay? Every day throwing in little by little by little. And I was just like, oh, like you're toxic. Like you're toxic. Because if the place is toxic, you don't even have to tell me that. I'm going to see it for myself, right? But she had already was like, yeah, this is what you need to be looking out for. Now, this lady, and I'm going to say she's my mentor, right? For the sake of the story. My mentor, she has her daughter working there. Daughter is like bananas, okay? Like she is like bananas, okay? She be acting crazy. Basically, it all comes down to it. I say, you know, I'm about to quit. You know, it very well was toxic. I'm trying to do my job. It was like they was saying, hey, you got the power to do this, but then saying, hey, let me take that back. You can't do anything. And so I was like, I can't work in no place like this. Either I have the freedom to carry out this position or I don't. So I'm telling the lady, I'm telling the mother. Now the mother again is the person I went to school with is their moms, but for the sake of the story, mother, okay? That's what I'm referring to when I say that. So the mother, you know, I tell her, I say, hey, I'm not liking what this is giving. I'm about to quit. And she basically is trying to reel me back in and trying to keep me from quitting. She say, hey, you know, this job could prove very pivotal in your career. You know, just having her name on your resume could just take you places. And, you know, I used to work here and I had to leave because they didn't understand my work. And then I only came back because they came and got me and said that they needed me and yada, 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 right? And so she said, yeah, you know, I mean, I think you should just milk this for what you can and get this or whatever, because you can very well be this lady's successor. Talking about my mentor, because my mentor has an extensive resume. She, like, her credibility is through the roof. I'm not even going to hold you. Like, she did and some great things, okay? She has done and is still doing some great things. But she don't have it all the way up there, okay? And so I'm just like, all right, I'll bite. Nevertheless, my mentor pissed me off. I said, you know what? I quit. And I read all them for Phil. Okay? Read them all for Phil. And my mentor was like, no, I'm going to get her up out of here. Fired her daughter. Now, mind you, the daughter and the mother of the person that I went to school with, they would get into it, okay? They would get into it. I mean, like, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that y'all are doing this in y'all work, like real life, talking nasty to one another, okay? So everybody was struggling with this lady's daughter being here, with my mentor's daughter being here. And then I was like, okay, I'm quitting if your daughter don't, because in the email, I was like, yeah, you know, this is like a toxic pyramid scheme, you know, and it stems from, and I was like, and the root is your daughter. Like, I was just going in, okay? Long story short, fired her daughter, right? Everybody was, you know, congratulating me because they was like, oh my gosh, look at you. You've grown so much. Now, these are people who've known me since I was a kid, okay? And I came in this place and I've only been in there for maybe about 2 weeks. And I had this lady remove her daughter from off the premises. Like, if I'm going to be down here, you got to let her go. Seriously. She did that. And they were like, oh my gosh. Basically, they were trying to make excuses for why they had stayed and dealt with all of this turmoil under this lady's leadership. Okay. My mentor and even all of the other crazy things that were taking place, okay? I'm just like, listen, you don't have to preach to me, boo, because my mind is made up. You done already did what you wanted to do back then, but I'm going to do what I want to do, because ain't none of y'all about to sit here and tell me what I'm doing is wrong. None of that, you know? Like, I'm going to move on my own beat, period. So, fast forward, I finally get through the probationary period and you know, everything. And, you know, I have a sit down with my mentor and I'm like, okay, let's talk about this full-time position. She strings me along and say, yeah, girl, I got you. Go down here and talk to the mother or whatever, who was the acting head of this site, okay, for DPR, okay? So technically she does run the day-to-day because my mentor, she's damn near retired, okay? But she still comes and she, you know what I'm saying, does her thing. She said, you know, go down here and have a conversation with this lady. I say, all right, okay, cool. I get down there thinking everything cool. And I tell you, this lady had so much stuff to say. Like, she real life pulled the wool over my eyes, because if I thought she was an ally when I first got in there, baby, we proved to be enemies after that meeting. Okay? So I get in there and I say, hey, you know, so-and-so wanted me to come down here and talk to you about, you know, me coming on full time and all of that. So she say, oh, do you think you're ready? Because I don't really agree with your work ethic. Whoo! I mean, like, she came right off the bat and just started coming for me. So I said, excuse me? I said, elaborate, please. She said, yeah, you know, I just don't know why, because there was an event that we had to do. I sat down. Once it was time for cleanup after the event, okay, I sat down while everybody was cleaning up. She was mad that I sat down, okay? So she said, yeah, I don't know what will possess you to sit down while we all are breaking our backs and, you know, working hard and things of that nature. The job wasn't over. And so she said, yeah, I don't need people who think that their job is over when their out time says it. You know, I don't think you're motivated enough. You don't even have the credentials to even work with youth. And I was like, excuse me? I said, all I have is background in youth development. Oh no, those were high schoolers. First of all, before I ever worked with high schoolers, I worked with elementary kids. But that's neither here nor there. And so I said, okay. And again, she's further elaborating. She said, yeah, you know, you have to be comfortable with coming in a place and not getting paid your worth, okay? And because a lot of people, we're here because we love the job and we do the job. And I just need people who are dedicated like that. I mean, y'all really trying to tell me to be okay with some shit that I know the fuck that I'm not gonna be okay with. Like, fuck is you talking about? And so I say, I don't think that one moment should be the deciding factor in whether or not you think my work ethic is up to your standards. I said, because quite frankly, and I didn't even tell her this, but I'm telling you all that this lady, y'all, I worked my ass off that day. She said that I took a seat. I brought my own personal makeup. I was being a makeup artist for these kids, and that was nothing. I was not even supposed to be doing any of that. They had people that they had hired to do that. But I said, you know what? I'm going to come prepared just in case we are delayed or something, so that I can get on here and I start beating faces. I'm buying stuff out of my own money to do. This is not my job, baby. I'm the director of this shit, and I am just supposed to be making sure everything goes swimmingly. But I'm doing makeup. I was doing makeup. I was doing a whole host of shit that really I wasn't supposed to do. But you talking about something I couldn't have a seat after I had been up since like 6 o'clock in the morning. Bitch, please, okay? Like, please. But nevertheless, you know, the lady was salty, and I was just like, wow, it all makes sense now. You think that I want your spot, and I don't want it, but she knew that I could very well take her spot. But the fact of the matter is, people will create these situations and make themselves believe that you're out to get them, when in all reality is them out to get them. This lady knew that she felt like, first of all, the job and the position that she holds is all that she'll ever have. She will never move far beyond the place that she's at now, because she damns other people's light because someone damned her light, and that's no way to be. How could you tell me that I'm a door breaker I can't tiptoe around people because like, you know how I am. And you thought that I was just going to let you say whatever and was just like going to be okay with that and be up in this place. Like, I don't get it, right? And I'm just like, when I look at these two people, my mentor and the mother, these people have two different levels of credibility, okay? One is just simply right here. The other one is all the way up here. And they both, okay, prove to be like my enemies. How could someone who has everything not sit here and help you out? Because in order to really get to where you need to go, you have to have help from somewhere. And the fact of the matter is, it's not even like, it was the way in which she treated me and how she spoke to me about me not having anything, right? Because she spoke to me as if I was never going to get it, as if she had already lost hope, as if all of these things were proven to be true. She had already convinced herself of that. This other lady, you didn't think that I would make it all the way through, and now you see my potential as well, and you're like, damn, what am I going to have if I let her come up in here and just be all great and shiny and mighty? What am I going to have? What am I going to have? Let me tell y'all something. If you have people like that who could help you but don't want to help you, you need to be on the first train smoking, okay, to get on your shit and do the very thing that these people don't even want to help you do, okay? Because they see it. They see it. I almost let this lady play with me, okay, into thinking that I was nothing. And guess what I did? After she played with me, after that meeting, I said, oh, I ran to go start my nonprofit. Ran. Because who need what to be what? Baby, I could go and work a room and trust and believe I'm going to come out of there with something. And no, I don't have to have the best vocabulary. I don't need to even be able to know how to speak that. I just need to be me. And that is what gets people, okay? And I was just like, wow. When something is for you, do it. I've had way too many people sit here and I've came to them for help. Well, I'm not even going to say I've came to a lot of people for help, but I've came to, you know what I'm saying, a couple people for help, and they ain't give me shit. But the minute that I had something, or they knew that they could like put a halt to what I was doing, trust and believe, they did just that. Stop moving around like you're not anointed. Stop moving around like you don't have what it takes. You cannot expect to be perfect at something that you just doing for the first time, even a second time, even a third time. When you go out here and you get a job, they give you on-the-job training. But although they give you that training, that is still not enough to be a professional at their job, okay? You have to keep working at it and keep working at it and keep working at it. That is the same for doing and just going out here and taking a whim. I'm betting on myself, okay? As an entrepreneur, we don't get on the job train. We don't get people to train us how to do. We don't get that, okay? Like, very well, yes, we can go and take classes and we can learn about certain things. But that's what we have to do because we're trying to do this on our own. We don't have teachers per se, okay? And if you ever run into somebody who sees your potential and then they shut you down, oh baby, just know that you got everything, every bit of what it takes. And they see that because it's like that energy is just like radiating off of you. And I felt like, you know, the mother, when I came in there and she had been suffering with this late, she had been suffering with my mentor's daughter. I mean suffering, okay? It was hell to pay. But I was in there for all but 5 seconds, and she was like, all right, daughter, you gotta go. And I was just like, oh, period. You know, period. And I'm thinking like, okay, bitches are gonna congratulate me because I done helped them out. I done helped them sleep a little better at night, but no. See, they knew that they could handle her. You know what I'm saying? They could box her and just play her at a distance. But with me, I'm a force to be reckoned with. You are a force to be reckoned with, okay? People cannot stand to see you do better than them. And I know we hear that every day, all day, but no, y'all, it's the truth. Like, again, these people had this lady light was cut out, and she thought that she could cut out mine. And I was just like, that's no way to be. And while my mentor, while she has everything at her disposal to even help me, she decided to not give a fuck, as if she really cared about my potential. And the thing is, you know, and it just is what it is, because I will see her. We will be in the same room next year. Okay? And it is going to be so crazy to see her. Because you could have been somebody I could have been thanking or something in my congratulatory remarks. I don't know, you know. But you showed me that the only thanks that I need to be giving is the thanks to God. Because He is the one who's going to always see me through it. So if there's something that you were supposed to be doing and that you wanted to do that you haven't did yet, go ahead and do it. Please. Let's ruffle some feathers, okay? And do it good. And make them feathers like fall the fuck off, okay? Fuck ruffling them. Bitches is going bald around here, okay? Please, let's do that. Because I'm so tired of just not going out there and just continue to just keep waiting like I wanted it to be perfect. It's not. The only person out here who's perfect is the one we can't even see but feel, okay? God, that's it. That's it. That's it, that's it, that's it. So today, here I am, doing my podcast, record my very first episode, because this is one of many other things that I said that I was going to do, but I just didn't do it because I was just too busy in my head about things. I was going through a depression, and like I was just going through so much. But like, it's nothing like a visual representation of someone who is actively going out here and trying to be successful, right? And that's what I want to be. I want to take y'all on this journey with me. I want to just really teach y'all and talk to y'all, okay? Like, my podcast isn't going to be like, you know, your traditional podcast where we just talk about hot topics and we over here talking about celebrities. I could care less about them. But what I do want to talk about is stuff that I feel like would be beneficial for Black people to know. Things that affect Black people. Things that affect our youth. Because, you know, my path is youth development. Like, you know, I want to invite professionals, you know, to just talk about things. Like, I just got a big vision, okay? And, you know, I encourage you all to come along on this journey with me. You know, like, comment, subscribe. You know, let me know what you are interested in hearing. Do your thing.